So I just caught my second bass and I haven't even filmed my intro yet. Check this guy out. Not a bad bass at all. We're gonna get a release on him real quick. I think this is a good way to start a video, don't you? And there she goes, swimming away. All right, so I came down to the river and like on my second cast, I caught, it might've been third cast. On my third cast, I caught a small bass. Show you that now. Just caught this guy, third cast. Let's get him back in the water. Ooh, belly flop. All right, so I caught that as soon as I got to the river. Didn't even do an intro yet. And then I realized the running water there was kind of loud. So I was like, well, let me go to a different part of the river to do my intro where it's not so loud. I come down here and it looks so good that I started making casts. And on my first cast, I had a little mishit blow up. And then so I threw it back in there. And that's when like a 3-pounder, a little bit bigger than that one, grabbed it. And I actually saw his mouth open. And I set the hook. He still had it. He pulled it under, but he still had his mouth open. So I didn't wait for him to close his mouth. I set the hook too soon. I pulled him all the way back here. So enough of the treble hooks got him. And so I pulled him back there and then he got off. And then I was like, oh man, I got to catch one now. Like, you know, they're biting. So then I just walked 10 feet over here, cast it down there and then caught that one. So they are biting the Whopper Plopper. So today's video is going to be about the Whopper Plopper 75. I've actually fished with it a little bit for the last couple days, but I haven't fished with it exclusively. Today I'm going to exclusively fish with it and give you my first impressions, because this is my first time using the Whopper Plopper 75. So in my last video, if you watched my last video, I went four-wheeling fishing, I guess you could call it. And we ended up going to a place where there was some big mudfish, bowfin, whatever you want to call them. And we hooked into a 5-pounder, 4.8, and ended up breaking my Whopper Plopper 90, the longer, skinnier one. The treble hooks are in his mouth. That's not the Whopper Plopper's fault. Let me just say that for starters. So it's not because it's an inferior product or anything like that. No, it's a good product. It's just that's going to happen when you have a fish that big, that's that aggressive and thrashing and stuff like that, and you don't get it out of there. You're not holding them correctly. You can't really hold the bowfin. Those things are nasty. They have some big old teeth on them. And so if you saw that video, you know what happened. The end of where the treble hooks broke off into the fish. And so later that day, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm like, all right, I got to get a new Whopper Plopper. So I got the Whopper Plopper 75, which is a little shorter than the Whopper Plopper 90, but it's taller. So it's a little fatter. It's shaped more like a panfish, a bluegill, which is oftentimes what I'm trying to imitate. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I got to get it. And it was the clear one. I prefer the white bottom one. So I'll give you a close look at the one that I bought. So, okay, I bought that, and I'm like, all right, this will work. I prefer the white bottom, but this will do. And so I had like 30 minutes before it got dark. So I ran to a spot, and I just wanted to fish with it real quick, see how it felt. And I ended up catching 2 fish. I'll show you those fish now. Got him. All right, got one on the Whopper Plopper. He's not a giant, but he's not bad. Let's get him back in the water, see if we can't catch another. All right, so that first one was really dark, because when they're really dark, they live up under the grass and mats and stuff like that, and they rarely come out. That's why they get so dark. They don't see the sun. So that one actually got pulled out of there. That sound of that Whopper Plopper brr, 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 just pulled that sucker out of there, and he came and just nailed the Whopper Plopper. It's so fun fishing topwater, and I honestly think fishing the Whopper Plopper is the most fun you can fish topwater. It is to me, and I love throwing it. I love when they're hitting them. There's nothing like it. It's exciting. So he hit that topwater, caught him. And it's fishing the same pond. There's a tunnel that runs underneath the street. So I walked across the street and I fished that pond on the other side. It's the same pond. Actually, that little pond that I was in, I've never caught a fish in there. But the other pond across the street, I've caught some big fish in there. So I only had like 30 minutes. I was thinking, you know, I might get one bite. Hopefully it's a big fish. I ended up getting 2 bites. I caught a second fish. I'll show you that now. Got him. Oh, he's not that big. Another on the Whopper Plopper. Not a giant, but another fish. All right, so he wasn't a giant, but I caught a second fish in a very short amount of time. I wasn't expecting to catch 2 fish, so that was good to me. First impressions were pretty dang good. And I'll say this, the Whopper Plopper 90, you can cast it a good ways, but you can cast the Whopper Plopper 75. It may be shorter in length, but because it's fatter, it actually weighs more. So you can actually throw this farther. And when I have a heavier bait, I feel like I'm just more accurate. I can put it exactly where I want to. And it's just a better fishing experience when you can cast a bait well, let's be honest. Especially when you're fishing with a treble hooks bait, because you want to cast it near grass, but you don't want to cast it in grass, you know, because it's going to get stuck in that stuff. So you want to cast it near stuff, near sticks, near trees, near this, near that. But you don't want to hit those things because those treble hooks will get stuck in it. So I really like that this is a little heavier and that you can cast this more accurately. That is a huge plus. So caught a couple fish with it, and I've just caught a couple fish with it just now, and we're still about to fish for a couple hours. But I also want to tell you about this. So the next day after I bought the Whopper Plopper, my brother-in-law called me up and was like, hey, do you want to go to Lake Tarpon tomorrow out on the boat? And I'm like, yeah, say less, let's go. So I went out to Lake Tarpon in the morning, and when I got there, I was 10 minutes early. He was already on the water. And so we got out there on the Lake Tarpon. Dang, loud enough? I don't know what kind of birds or bugs those are, but they're loud as heck. So I go out there, and the motor's not turning. So we're like, uh-oh. So the motor's not starting. So we just fish that little bay. We don't go out to the main water. And right now we're in post spawn. So those bass are out there in the main body of water and out at the point, you know, the points of the main water. So most of the fish are out there. So we just fished kind of in the bay near the boat ramp. And I end up hooking in to, what the heck? A golf ball just landed in the tree next to me. There's a golf course over there. That's crazy. That could have hit me. So it ended up, so I'm getting distracted left and right. So it ended up, we ended up catching a gar. I actually caught my PB gar, my personal best gar. I've never caught a big gar. I always catch small gars. And so I caught a pretty decent sized gar. They get much bigger than that, much bigger. But 2 things about gars. 1, I never fish for them because I just don't fish for them. 2, they're hard to catch because they have those skinny mouths, so you kind of got to give them a minute to eat. Yeah. There's one right here near my bait. Oh, he's got it. Got him. Oh. Yeah, got him. It's a nice spot. It's not a bad one either. It's not a bad gar. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He is solid. His scales are actually really tough.
Yeah, they look like gator backs.
Oh yeah, they look tough. Those could cut ya.
See those teeth, Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want no part
No,
of
that would definitely puncture.
I bet you he's...
You're not weighing him?
He's got to be a good 3-pounder, 4-pounder.
Oh, he's got some weight to him.
Is he that solid? Huh?
Yeah.
Make him do a dive.
We're gonna dive him.
Cannonball.
And then there was a storm coming in, so we got off the water, and so I go home and I'm like, you know, that Whopper Plopper saved the day, that 75. I just caught 2 last night really quickly. I caught that PB gar. I'm like, you know, I kind of like that Whopper Plopper 75. Maybe I should do a first impressions video and fish with it. And then I was like, you know what? It's about to get dark, but I have enough time. I can go out and fish again. So I go out to a pond that I usually fish. It's not too far from me. And I catch a few fish. I have a few miss hits, you know, that sort of deal. I'll show you those right now. Got one. Oh. All right, not a giant, but we caught one. Oh, got a fish. Dude, he hit it the second he hit the water. That's a better one too. No! Oh, he's a little guy. Quick release. All right, so I caught a few fish out there, had a few miss hits, and that's what's great about the Whopper Plopper is it really brings the fish out. Even if they don't commit to it and really grab it, or they just don't time it right and they miss it, you know where they are now. That's half the battle when you're fishing. So if you have a second rod with you with a worm or whatever you like to throw that's a slower presentation, you can throw that back in there behind you. So I'll throw a Whopper Plopper somewhere, something will miss hit it, I'll throw it back in there. If it doesn't try to hit it again, then I'll grab that worm, I'll throw it over there, and I'll slow it down and let it sit there, and he'll pick it up a lot of the times, and bam, you got yourself a fish. I only brought the Whopper Plopper with me today, even though I know that is how you should be fishing it. It's just, I just want to fish the Whopper Plopper. It's just so much fun. You know, I haven't fished with it much, but I've been having some success with it. So, and then I just get here, I haven't made many casts at all, and I've already caught a couple fish and had 2 miss hits, 2 blow-ups where I could have had a fish. So we're about to fish for another probably 2 hours out here. I think we're gonna catch some more, and then I'm gonna tell you more of what I think about this bait, because I think I'm gonna have some good things to say about it. Some things that will either make you want to buy it or maybe buy an alternative to it. I'll give you reasons why this, why that, and you can make your own decisions depending on your situation. But for now, this is Real Journey. So if you're new to the channel and you like this sort of thing, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and we're gonna get back to fishing and catching some fish. Oh yeah, I'm thinking this is about to be, ooh, what's the word? We're about to catch them good. Okay, we're about to put on a clinic. There we go. This is about to be a clinic. And that's the other thing, the Whopper Plopper in the river is great. And that's why I wanted to come down here. I was fishing a little of this, a little of that, and then I thought, the Whopper Plopper is, in rivers, let me take it there. And so, that's what we're doing now. We're about to put on a clinic, I have a feeling. All right, I'm done talking. You don't want to hear me talk forever. Let's get to fishing. Oh, I lost him. Ooh, dang, that was a vicious miss hit. Ooh, miss hit. Oh, got one right here. Oh, it's a good bass. Oh, shoot. Dang. Because he's down there, he's too big. I can't lip down there. That's like a 6-foot drop off. Oh, I'm lucky my line didn't break and he took my Whopper Plopper with him. Oh my goodness. Alright, so since you last seen me, I've had like 3 or 4 blow-ups, I don't know, or follows and blow-ups. And then I just had a big bass right there, maybe even a 5-pounder, close to it. That was a big bass that just nailed the Whopper Plopper right there. I lifted him a good bit out of the water. He was just too heavy to get up this steep incline, and there's no place. I already thought when I was standing here, I was like, if I hook into a big one, I'm not going to be able to like lip him. You know, my arms don't even reach that far down. You know, if someone was holding my legs, I might be able to reach them. So, yeah, it's a little steep cliff right here, but it's a nice little steep spot as far as water depth. So it's a good spot for some bass. You know, maybe if I had like all 6 trebles in them, I could get them up here. But I have a lot smaller line on than you should use for a Whopper Plopper. So to be honest, if I would have got him any higher up and he was still hooked, probably would have broke my line. So might have been best that he came off, but that was a big bass. Oh man, it just the Whopper Plopper gets you excited, man. And I didn't land that fish, and I'm still excited. So I'm gonna throw this back in there. I only made a couple casts here, so, and I had a gar follow me right here, and then I had a little blow up. As soon as it hit the water over there, something small tried to hit it and missed it, and then it just reacted, you know. And then I chugged it on over here, and that big one nailed it. So we're gonna throw it back out there and see what will happen. Maybe next time we'll actually land the fish. I don't know how, but we'll try. Oh my goodness. There's a little gator right here. Oh, that scared the heck out of me. He wasn't there a second ago. You see his head right here? I don't know if y'all can see him, but there's a little gator right there. I planned on fishing here for a little bit, but I think this gator just ruined this spot. Oh, got one. Oh, dang it. Got him. Gave him a little bit more time to eat that time. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. All right, so we caught another good one. Phew. All right, so not a bad one. We might catch one more in here. I have a hard time believing that, you know, we can make too much of a commotion. I already had a blow up right here, and then I just caught that one. Unless this is loaded with a bunch, I have a hard time seeing us catching more right here. So we might be moving spots momentarily, but I'm gonna make one more I don't know. I'm gonna make a few more casts and then we'll see what we're doing. Oh man. We don't have many spots left, so we gotta start catching them. Oh, got one. Oh, it came off. He was tiny. Ooh, I think something waked towards it. Oh, miss hit. Oh, got one. Oh, he took it under. Dude, he just sucked it under. He didn't even explode on it. I didn't even know fish had it at first. Got him. Got another one. Let's try and upsize that. All right, so this morning I left my drinks, my Gatorade and water in the refrigerator. Yesterday I had it in my backpack. I took it out to put it in the refrigerator, which was the smart thing to do. But this morning when I thought, oh, it's in my backpack, and I just run out the door, I forgot I put it in the refrigerator. So I am dying of thirst. I have cotton mouth. Another one of those stupid days by me. So I'm going to head out. I've only been here a little over an hour. So I definitely think I could have been out here longer and I could have caught some more bass. But we did a good bit of exploring. You can fish this bait pretty quickly. So you can cover some ground, you can cover some water, you can use it as a search bait. And yeah, Whopper Plopper 75. First impressions, it's better than the 90. The 90 is probably the most popular one. I think the 75 is better. It's a smaller profile, so for most of the country, okay, let's remember, bigger baits catch bigger bass. Most of the country aren't dealing with these Florida giants that we are down here. And I'm in the land of the giants. I'm down here in Florida, and I'll still fish with that 75 over the 90. Not because I don't want to catch big bass, because I think the 75 will still catch big bass. So I rather have a bait that's a little heavier, I can cast it farther, I can cast it more accurately. You know, I don't want to throw that into a tree and lose 13 bucks the first day I fish with it. So I think the 75 is better than the 90, and the 90 is probably the most popular. So does that mean that the 75 is the best Whopper Plopper? I think so. I think so. And a prop bait is probably my favorite way to fish topwater, and topwater is probably my favorite way to fish, you know, when they're biting. So, I don't know. The Whopper Plopper 75 might even be my favorite bait. But here's the thing about me personally, I don't throw a topwater bait all day long if they're not biting topwater. There's a lot of people that do that. If they're not biting topwater, my favorite bait is whatever they're biting. But if I was to narrow it down category to category, favorite topwater bait, it might be the Whopper Plopper 75. I really like throwing prop baits topwater. They're fun. Just a lot of fun, really. And that 75, man. All right, if you want bigger bass, maybe you live in Texas, maybe you live in Florida, maybe you live in Georgia, Alabama, you know, maybe you fish places where there's just big bass, you might want to throw the 90. You might want to throw, what's it, the 120 is bigger. Maybe that's the only time you throw a prop bait, is when you throw one of them big bad boys out there. Maybe that's the one for you. But for most people, I think they're gonna feel the way I feel. You know, they fish ponds and what have you. The Whopper Plopper 75 is gonna catch you small fish. That will catch you fish all over the country, and it will catch you big fish too. So it casts better, it casts more accurately. I think you'll catch more fish. You'll catch smaller fish and big fish. So I think it's better. I really do. So that's my first impressions of the Whopper Plopper 75. I hope that's helpful to you guys out there that were looking for a good video on first impressions. Let me know if you want to see me do any more first impressions and of what down below in the comments. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to grow this channel. And for those of you that are new, when we reach 1,000 subscribers, oh, turtle just jumped in the water. When we reach 1,000 subscribers, we are doing a giveaway. And when we reach 2,000 subscribers, we are doing a giveaway. And that's gonna be it for today. We're out. Deuces.